welcome to part 2 of series 7, playing over changes, and interested to see what you're thinking at this point, because I left you with a question: what do we do with the C? Now, this is quite an interesting one in that our choice has got to be arrangement led. So there are certain examples of people playing a C where if they're doing this sort of thing, you could arguably say, well, okay, I can play minor pentatonic all the way through that. I would hope that on listening to the chords which are following, it would give you an idea slightly different than that. I don't think we want to be talking about minor pentatonic over that C. I think we want to be thinking very much major pentatonic, with the emphasis also on being able to use a C major scale as well. Now, that's not something you can always do with a major pentatonic, because again, it depends on the arrangement. But of course, that's the value of listening to the whole context, what's happening elsewhere in the sequence. So for this first segment, what I'm going to talk about is purely playing over the C. Now, our pentatonics always are very useful here. Major pentatonic. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that gives us a flavour of that C. But we can also get a lot more colour into that. By using our major scales. Now there I used a 2-octave major scale, which sits above that particular fingering of the pentatonic. So I can play something along the lines of... Okay, it's also true to say that we can use our 1-octave C major scale here in second position just as effectively. It's really just a geographical thing, although to a degree the timbre of the notes or the tone of the notes will be slightly different. And of course that's one of the beauties of guitar, is the shape and sound of those notes changes depending on where we're playing them. So this would be a little example of using that 1-octave scale. And I'm going to play this very slowly because there's a couple of little moves here which I think are very, very important to get into the habit of. Okay. Another variation. Another one again. Now, obviously, there could be loads of examples of this, but this is something which is very important to get used to doing. Just using that major scale in a way which complements and fits in with, is relevant to, another way of putting it, the sequence that's coming along after it. Now, one last point on this first project, if you want to call it that, is that when we finish our phrases, it's very important where we finish each line that we play, because obviously we're describing a C, and if there were no changes there or no changes coming on that C, then we could say, okay, well, we'll play all sorts of stuff which will be, adding a lot of colour to it. In this particular, or adding extra tones, if you will, to the chord, or extensions. In this particular situation, what we're trying to do here is just play the C, and if you like, save up the fact that the major 7th chord is coming along. Now, I'll be coming on to more about that, but for the moment, that's our first thing, is to play around that major pentatonic, keep it kind of polite, not too bluesy really. I don't think it's really that sort of sequence, but you may find another way round than I do. But the important thing is just to get it in your head. That's where our first change is going to be. So anyway, that's it for this particular segment. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll be speaking to you in part 3. Okay, bye for now.